Greetings and salutations everyone, my name is Light and today we're going to be creating out a beginner crypto investment portfolio. And right now we are in what we call a bear market, which means the assets are down, which makes it out an excellent buying opportunity before the bull market will kick in roughly in 2 to 3 years. Now, yes, in the last week or so, we have been seeing 10 to 15% gains for some of these assets, but that doesn't mean that it's too late to invest and make still significant gains before the bull market happens. Now, what we're going to be doing is building out a $1,000 portfolio. However, you can use the same percentages here to build out a $500 portfolio or $100 portfolio, or if you have more money, it can be 5K, 10K, etc. And the goal here is to make 10K within the time frame of 12 to 30 months. In somewhere in that time span, we're going to be seeing significant gains, and I'm going to be making constant updates on these portfolios. And I'm also planning to be making a degen portfolio, a separate video basically. And all of these 8 assets we're going to be talking about here today also going to be available on the top exchanges. So you don't have to make multiple accounts or wallets basically in order to acquire all these coins. So these are going to be available on both Binance and Coinbase in case you don't have accounts on those exchanges. I'm going to leave, link down below in the description. But let's get started without further ado with our first coin. So we're not going to be adding Bitcoin to this portfolio. A lot of people would, but the thing is, the chances of Bitcoin actually going 10x to 200K are very, very, very low. It is most realistic that it will go anywhere from 100 to 120K during this cycle. And for a lot of people, that is enough. But people who want to have significant gains in their life, they're going to be needing a lot more higher X, especially if they don't have so much to invest right now. So Bitcoin is a great, safe option to make a lot of gains right now, but it's not going to go very wild as some of the other assets which we're going to be talking about here today, possibly. So let's get started with our first asset, which is Ethereum. And this is the most stable asset of the coins that we have chosen for this list. And that is why we're going to be allocating the most amount of our funds, which is 25% of this portfolio into Ethereum. I think it's a very safe bet for a multitude of reasons, because it has the sharding update likely coming out the next year or this year. And then obviously the effects of the triple halving are also not in effect quite yet. Supply shock hasn't exactly happened. So what I'm going to be doing here, I'm going to be adding a dollar amount, and that is going to be getting us 0.16 Ethereum as of right now. Let's put out this. Okay. 250. Okay, that is going to be getting us roughly 0.16 Ethereum. And we're going to be adding out this to our portfolio. And let's put out a bit more extra so it will be rounding up nicely. And obviously these numbers are going to be fluctuating. Okay, that is going to be roughly what we're going to be adding. So that's our first 250 bucks. Next up into our portfolio, we are going to be adding out Dogecoin. Now this is going to be the smallest allocation that we're going to be having on the portfolio, because it's kind of risky and it doesn't really have much of a guarantee that it will be going 10x during this cycle. That is due to Doge not having max supply, meaning that it will be infinitely mining till the end of the world basically. So it doesn't have a form of a deflation happening on the chain. Now there has been talks about transitioning into proof of stake, which is going to be curving down the rate of inflation. There has been also leaks and talk about Elon implementing Doge to Twitter, and that could be another bullish signal which would integrate and increase the price of Doge. And obviously it is significantly down from its all-time high. We are obviously expecting that in the next bull run, we're going to be seeing new all-time highs. So the idea of it going back to 73 cents or 80 cents, which would be roughly the 10x, is not totally impossible as of right now. So we're going to be throwing out a $50 investment on Doge. That is going to be roughly around 600 Dogecoin. And Doge, as I keep mentioning, this is a more high-risk asset. In case you don't want to have risk at all, you have options to add just the 50 bucks extra to Ethereum, for example. So you can shuffle around a bit of these numbers. Next up, we are going to be having Kusama. And this is the sibling product to Polkadot. and it is quite much down from its all-time high, which was at around $600. So we're more than 20x down. So Kusama is like one of the most lowest market cap projects on this list. What makes Kusama very attractive investment? It is the limited supply. Polkadot, for example, once again has an infinite supply, and it will keep, you know, growing at a very fast speed. And because of that, it just fundamentally is not a very wise investment from that point of view. But I think Kusama has a lot more room for the growth in case there's going to be another Polkadot style run happening out and updates are going to be flushed out. But there has been some reshuffling in the management of Polkadot and Kusama, so it's really hard to say what will happen. So it's a bit more riskier asset on this list. That's why we're going to be allocating $100 into Kusama. If you don't like very risky assets, you could add the same amount into Ethereum instead, so allocating now. Then we have another big allocation on the list, the second largest, and that is going to be on Litecoin. And the reason why Litecoin is a very lucrative investment as of right now is due to the fact that it's going to be going through the halving process this summer. And halving is a very good indicator for the price development, especially during the bull run. That's what makes Bitcoin to go up. If there wasn't halvings, then Bitcoin wouldn't see that significant price gain as it does on every cycle. And also, Litecoin is quite down from its all-time high, so this would be 5x to go to its previous all-time high, which is $412. But I think after the halving, Litecoin possibly could go to above $1,000. It really depends on what's going on, and there are some other recent developments that have happening on Litecoin as well, like the Mimblewimble update. So there is still constant development going on Litecoin, but obviously it's not getting the same amount of limelight, but the halving is still going on its favor. So we're going to be allocating $200 on Litecoin. That is going to get 2.31 Litecoin here, which is a good. And I guess you could also allocate, in case you don't want Kusama or Doge, you could add more Litecoin as well to this portfolio. But I think Litecoin is a great position, and unlike, you know, Bitcoin or Ethereum, you have the opportunity to buy before the halving is going to be taking place on the summer. So I think right now you're going to be having the opportunity to buy in at a relatively good price. Our next coin on the list is going to be a bit more smaller cap compared to ones that we have talked about, and that is Mina. And Mina is a pretty good blockchain project. They have a lot of interesting things to do in their roadmap, and they have delivered on a lot of stuff in the last quarter, and there's going to be a lot of updates happening in this year also, which hopefully are going to be drawing a lot more developers into their ecosystem. So there's going to be a lot more DeFi being built out there, and just general is going to be growing, hopefully, the ecosystem. And one of the things that I also like about Mina right now is that it's very, very much down from its all-time high, which was $9.9. And right now we're at $0.54. Now, Mina does have a pretty high staking ratio, so it's inflating at a pretty significant speed. So that's obviously a bit of a problem, but I still think that there's a lot of room for it to gain a new all-time high, or even not reaching the all-time high would still make it to go, you know, make our 10x that we're basically required to have. So we're going to be allocating $100 into Mina. I think this is a lot more of these coins in this portfolio that also potentially have, you know, to go 15 to 20x. It's not totally out of the question. So let's add Mina to the portfolio here. So right now we are at $600. And we're going to be adding out the last three coins here, which first we have AVAX. And Avalanche was one of those blockchain projects that were kind of trying to compete with Ethereum, and I think they are still a serious contender. And AVAX is a very good asset from the perspective that it has a deflationary curve, meaning that at some point after all has been minted, and I currently also on every transaction they are burning out AVAX. I'm not sure what is the deflation ratio compared to Ethereum, but Ethereum obviously does have an infinite supply in theory. So AVAX has a max supply, and at some point when all of the things have been mined out, it's just going to keep deflating. So I think it's a pretty good for a long-term asset due to the actual deflation that basically is happening on every block on the blockchain. And also it is down quite significantly from $146, roughly around 90%, which is just the number that we're really looking for here in terms of like price growth. So going 10x here would be $160, and I don't think that is totally out of the question. It might go into $200 at least, or there might be other blockchains coming in which are going to be competing from that EVM space and etc. So you never really know. There's going to be new chains, and those are going to be rocking out the paradigm. But this obviously video is based on what we can buy right now. So let's add the $100 here on AVAX portfolio. We're soon ready to complete our portfolio. So we've got 2 coins left in here right now. And next coin up on the list is Sand. And this is the token of the Sandbox game project, which we call the game fee. So I thought, obviously, as we have known in the studies already in crypto, the most diverse portfolios outperform people who are just holding out like a couple of coins like Bitcoin only or Ethereum only. You always want to diversify your portfolio, because in this list even something could technically go have a massive crash, but it doesn't matter in case some of the other assets are going to be going significantly up on it. Now the Sandbox also is significantly down from its all-time high, which is a good allocation, a good thing what I keep on the valuation. So it was $8.44. It going in 10x from the current point, which would make it $6. And going into $8, what would be, I don't know, like that would be 15x or something like that. So it's totally not out of the question. And we have to also understand that the Sandbox game hasn't exactly released yet. Right now, there has been a lot of beta testing and alpha testing, but somewhere in this 2-year time period, the game is going to be launched. And then there's going to be a lot of interest. They have been doing significant amount of partnerships with a lot of people like Snoop Dogg, Paris Hilton, Slipknot, China Morning Post. There are like a huge amount of people involved in building out the multiverse and the metaverse and all of that type of stuff. And Sandbox truly is one of these flagship projects in crypto on the game fee space, which has something really promising. And they're still ironing things out, but like based on the beta testing that I have done or the alpha testing, it looks out a really, really high quality game in the blockchain scale of things. And it's not actually not that bad of a game compared to like Roblox or Minecraft. It doesn't necessarily have the same amount of customization yet, but it's still a very revolutionary project in my opinion, and it could be like seeing very significant gains if it actually blows up. So what we're going to be doing with Sandbox is that we're going to be adding out another $100 here. And Sandbox, as some of the other assets here, are stakeable assets. So you're not just gaining the growth in the price over the time, but if you also have the technical knowledge, you can also stake out these assets, which are going to be giving you extra interest. And I think there's like a 6 to 10% interest on Sandbox, for example, for staking it. And Ethereum has 6, and Mina has 13. AVAX, I think, is 6. Kusama 11. So you can get a lot of staking returns also on these assets throughout this 12 to 30 month period. Now we're going to be adding out the very last asset on our portfolio, and that is going to be Cartesi. Now this last asset, I had a lot of thinking, what would I choose here? And ultimately I decided to choose Cartesi because they have a mainnet launch happening. There are a lot of things that are very Linux focused, and there's a big Linux community who could get into crypto because they're a very technical style of people. And Cartesi is fundamentally building out something very different from the rest of the market. And for Linux-based people, this is going to be a very ideal project. But then again, most people use Windows, so it's going to be kind of niche in its own. But obviously, people can still interact with the dApps and everything. But on the developer side, they're going to be having a more like a niche type of a take. I did have another coin which I wanted to include as the 10th one, but it actually wasn't listed on Coinbase yet. So I kind of decided to go with Cartesi. Another alternative would have been Fetch AI, because there's probably going to be some type of AI storm happening in the next year. We have been seeing the ChatGPT, and etc., making significant gains. And also with the case of Cartesi, it's 92% down from its previous all-time high. And if it would go 10x, it would be at $1.2. If it reaches the same all-time high as before, it would be almost 15 to 20x, almost. So a lot of room for growth for Cartesi, and all of their like mainnet and dApp development and all of these things are yet to come. Some of that stuff is going to be probably launching in Q1 or Q2 this year, and that's going to be bringing more interest into Cartesi and bringing a lot more demand for the coin. So definitely Cartesi is a really, very good lower market cap solution. Right now it's sitting at 261, which is the lowest coin that we have on this list. And obviously it is a bit of a wild card as well, but I still think that it's a great investment altogether. So this will be our last coin into our portfolio. Let's add it here, Cartesi, and adding out the quantity. And now we have a $1,000 portfolio. And as I said, we are going to be adding updates. I will be updating this on Twitter, hopefully on a weekly basis. And I will want to do also a degen portfolio with the same model that's going to be having a bit more coins and a lot more riskier takes. And that portfolio is probably aiming to go like 20x to 30x or something crazy. Such a significant chance to also go very, very down. Now, obviously, if you have any questions regarding these coins or my decisions for this top 8 which I would choose for this portfolio, you can leave a comment down below and inquire more. And in case you're just new to crypto in general, you can always join our Discord or Telegram communities, and there surely will be a lot of people helping you out to get started. But I will repeat myself to you guys, even if you made a lot of losses, you bought at the top in the last cycle, this is how the money is mostly made in this crypto scene, is buying during the bear market. So I don't know, take extra shifts as a job, maybe liquidate some of your goods, maybe sell your old Xbox or gaming collection, CDs, precious metals to get that $1,000, and that could make a very significant 10K is a lot of money, and it's not necessarily life-changing depending on where you are, but just like getting that $100 to $2,000 portfolio, set it up for these coins, can yield you very significant gains in a relatively short time period compared to stocks or any other asset out there. So I really want you to understand the potential here. But thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share, and I will be seeing you in the next video.